What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today we're talking about the most critical, very first step you need to take to be financially independent. It's not how to invest your money. It's not how to buy Bitcoin. It's not any of those things that you might think it is. Believe it or not, it's creating a budget. You might say, what? A budget? How boring is that? The reason why a budget is the most critical first step you have to take to be financially independent is because it's impossible to understand your situation and what you need to do without knowing what your situation is. And what a budget allows you to do is understand how much money you're bringing in, how much money you're spending, so that you can make decisions on what you need to do next. And let me tell you, when I was on unemployment with no savings, you best believe I had a budget that was like ramen and Totino's. And I'm not dogging those, like I love ramen and I love Totino's, because I ate a lot of it. And I know making a budget doesn't sound very exciting, and you're probably like, I don't want to deal with spreadsheets and all that, but it doesn't have to be that complicated. There's actually some free tools out there that make it pretty easy to get started, at least so that you can create your first budget and just get an idea of where you're at money-wise. In this video, we're going to go step-by-step through it, create your first budget using these free tools that are available to everyone. So if you just go to Google Sheets, what you'll see is they actually have these templates here at the top. They have to-do list, annual budget, monthly budget. We're going to start with the monthly budget. I think eventually you should get to an annual budget so that you can see how you're doing over a period of time. But if you haven't done this before, starting with a monthly budget is the absolute right way to get started. And I think their monthly budget template actually makes it pretty easy. What you'll see is they give you some instruction here on how to do it, and starting balance and all this type of stuff. So we're actually going to go through this example to show you kind of how it works. Your starting balance should basically be whatever you have in your bank account today, with the idea being that this monthly budget tool should show you how much you can save over time. So let's just say we have $1,000 in our checking account right now, and we'll just start there. You guys hear that? Sorry, my neighbor's doing some yard work over there, and 'tis the life of a YouTube creator. So what you see is these items here on this tab that are in that beige kind of pinkish color are the ones that you want to change. And this is where you set up what your plan is for the month in terms of spending. So here you have all your expenses. You have food, gifts, medical, home, and all these categories that you can use. If these aren't the categories you want to use, you can change them. They have a few custom items here that are for you to just update with whatever you want. So for this example, I'll just use kind of what they have here, but you can change them. Like here, maybe this is coffee, right? And maybe this is streaming services. And then on the income side is basically all the different income streams that you have. So obviously your paycheck would be your paycheck from your job. If you get bonuses, if you get interest money from other accounts or investments, they basically all go here. So I'm going to start adding some numbers in here just to get an idea of what my budget is. I'm just making up these numbers, by the way. So let's say in general, my plan is I have about $2,000 of expenses every month. My paychecks come in at about $3,000 a month. And what I'm going to try to do is I want to be able to save an additional $1,000 a month every month if possible. And so once I've created all of my plan numbers, then what I do is I go to the transactions tab. And here's where I actually put my actuals of things as they happen. Anytime that you spend on something, like you pay a bill or you go out to eat, then you add the transaction on the expense side. You can put whatever description you want that helps you remember what it is, and then you put it in the category that it belongs in your budget. And then anytime you get paid or you get money in, you do the same thing on the income side. So as you add those things, then the summary tab starts to fill out a little bit. And as you can see, that what it does is it adds up all of the transactions that you put in and organizes them by category. So my home expenses actually were over my budget. So that's why it's minus 50 net for the month. My coffee one was right on target. My debt one was right on target. My transportation, I only paid $75 in gas. I have another $25 left to go for the month. Or if I'm done, then that adds to my potential savings amount. And so what it has here on the income side in terms of savings, if you're planning to pull from your savings for the month, maybe you had a big purchase or you had to use your emergency fund. And so as you fill it all out, it'll start to calculate for you how well you've done on hitting each of your budget categories, but then also how much money you should have left over to save or put away to invest each month. And that'll show up right here. It starts with your starting balance and it says, here's how much you've saved this month so far based on how much you've spent. And here's the percent total increase in your savings. So in this case, if I am really able to end the month with just those expenses, I would have been able to save an extra $1,230, which, because I only started with $1,000, means that it's a 123% increase in my savings. But the great part about it is it helps you understand where you're spending more than you thought. Because maybe you look at this and you say, man, I'm spending $100 on coffee and streaming services, and maybe it's something that's really important to you, but at least it allows you to make the decision because you actually get to see it now. Your expenses should be less than your income every month. And if you get to this point to where you do your first budget and you see that your expenses are more than your income every month, that is a huge red flag. The first thing you need to do is find ways that you can cut your expenses if possible so that you get basically to cash flow positive. And what that means is you have more income coming in than expenses going out. And that is literally the first step to being responsible financially, making sure you have enough money each month to be able to cover your expenses. And the idea is that every month you should be able to grow your savings if you're bringing in more money than you're spending. What you can do each month is you can save a copy of this, create a new one for the next month, and do it over again. The more you track it, the more you measure it, the better you can be at improving it. And maybe the realization of what you come to is, hey, look, everything on my expenses side is absolutely critical. I can't cut any of it. But the income that I'm getting just isn't enough. What that tells you is you got to do more to increase your income. And maybe that's, how do you do better at your current job? Is there an opportunity to get promoted? Or if that's not the best option, is there something I can do on the side? Is there a different job that I need to get? Are there skills that I need to get a better job so that I can make more money? But being able to see it right there in front of you is the first step to knowing what is the most important next step that I need to do. Hopefully that helped. If you guys have more questions on how to create a budget or how to work through it each month, put them down in the comments below. If you want to watch more videos on personal finance and becoming financially independent, click on these videos in the end screen. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.